Excellent. An ale for me. And for my officers. In fact, ales for everyone.
10 backwards. Rick and Wick. And Will. Sometimes Stemmer.
Oh, yes.
Hello, welcome to a special episode of 10 Backward, the UK podcast all about Star Trek. We are having our most crowded episode ever tonight. We've been at Destination Star Trek all day. It's been day one. We've been having a flipping amazing time. So I'm going to go around the table. To my left is Rob Chapman.
Hi everyone. That was my one fan.
Then can continue around. We have Kevin Stanley.
Hello there, Rick. It's a pleasure to be on 10 Backward today with you.
And then we have our usual host, Rick Palmer.
Greetings.
And then Will Turland.
Hello.
And then another 10 Backward newbie, Nick Loven.
Good evening.
Woo, 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 woo.
So guys, yeah, we've been at Destination Star Trek all day. Or at varying levels of the day. I turned
Most
about
of the
2.
afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been pretty crazy, hasn't it?
It has been crazy.
Yeah.
It's been a lot packed into a small amount of time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Two weird things happened early on. Me and Will went for a roadside picnic. When we got here.
Lovely.
Yeah, in the NEC car park.
Oh, okay. Not so lovely.
And we spotted a man who looked a bit confused and thought he must be going to Destination Star Trek. And then he turned out to be Ken, who knew us. And he was like, "Excuse me, are you Will and Rick?" And we're like, "Yes, we are." We're a small world.
Is this not a small car park? I mean, you know...
It's an immensely massive
Yeah.
car.
16,500 spaces.
You need a bus
really?
to get from the park to the actual the NEC.
But
we were the only guys having a picnic in a sort of a piece of
On
kind of
some sort of-
scrubland at the side.
It's in the
Some
middle of
weird
the
little
roundabout.
hill.
Yeah.
And you were the only people to see me take my shirt off out of the car
Yes.
and change into my other shirt. Because I thought, I'm not going to crease my nice white shirt. on the way
I
down
saw
the
Will
car.
take his trousers off as well, and his top.
That's true.
Hey, that turned into an X-rated episode. I didn't sign up to this.
I'm not sure why all this undressing was happening.
There aren't any visuals to go with this episode, so it's okay, don't worry.
Never has our audience been so relieved. Myself and Nick got in a bit later. We'd already had messages that you guys had met each other and then had to get dressed, which left us somewhat confused as to what we'd been missing out on. No picnics, unfortunately. We had to text you and wander around the hall before we eventually found you. But there's been some great. We've met some people.
Yeah.
Will, you've got some autographs.
Yes, I have. So I managed to... the main person I really wanted to get an autograph from today was William Shatner. Because, he played Captain Kirk.
Oh,
And that's pretty
forgotten
awesome.
he did that. Oh, yeah, I'm glad you reminded us.
He's also TJ Hooker.
And he's the director of Star Trek V, of course.
It's a big giant head in Third Rock from the Sun.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But I was sort of worried that there'd be a really big queue for Shatner, and he wasn't there when we first got there. His so the way it's sort of laid out, that you have a poster of each actor, and then they're sort of sat at a little desk, and you can sort of find them that way. And it's like a virtual queuing system that works at the NEC, so you're not physically queuing for too long. But yeah, I felt like I got pretty lucky. I just sort of noticed that they were setting up Shatner, and then just managed to get
Putting him
straight over.
together.
Yeah, he had more security around him than anybody else. I noticed he had 2 sort of burly-looking security guards.
That's because he's pissed off most of the Trek actors at some point in his life.
Right.
One thing I would say is that early on, me and Will walked around Destination Star Trek Fog pretty confused as to what to do.
Yeah.
Because our previous experience was that you pay, and the photos are there and you pick a photo, and then that gets signed, and you tell them your name, and all that happens. But here, you get your photo separately. It's like a separate deal,
And at additional cost.
At additional cost. And I have to admit, we were nonplussed.
And we were confused. We had to go and read all the information on one of the info sites before it finally kind of dawned on us what we had to do.
And then there was like a scrum at the picture stand. I mean, they're geniuses at Destination Star Trek because they create scrums for things that are needed.
Yes, yeah.
It's good. It's good. But we got our pictures, and then it got easier.
Yeah. And it was really amazing to meet Shatner, although he was, but he didn't really say all that much to me. I kind of really awkwardly tried to tell him about how I kind of watched the original series with my dad, and it was like a way that really sort of got me into sci-fi. But he kind of looked like he wasn't really sort of listening as such, and then he just kind of nodded and said, yeah, and kind of just gave me back my photo.
The guy's 87 years old.
That's true.
He's been in Star Trek for 50 years. He's heard it all before.
Yeah. He probably wasn't even hearing me properly. It was quite loud in there. He probably just thought. And the guy before me he'd paid about £250 for 4 separate autographs, and he seemed to be asking William Shatner for all sorts of specific writing on each of the different photos. So I think Shatner was already exhausted by the time he got to me. I just wanted to get it over with.
I think it's good, like, get in early with autographs, I would say, because that's when you're most likely to engage with you, maybe, depending on the person, of course. But
Yeah.
Before they get hand cramp.
before they get asked to do like 1 billion autographs by one person.
Yeah.
But as we were queuing up, as we were going to the queues, we saw Chase Masterson and Max Brenchik, is it?
Yes.
And they came over and were taking pictures of the crowds, and they ended up talking to us, which was really cool.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's amazing.
I saw Marina Sirtis, Gates McFadden, and Michael Dawn walking to the press conference bit. So that was quite cool. And that was even before the convention had started. So
Yeah.
that was fun. That was good.
Yeah.
Apart from Shatner, who else did you see?
Walter Koenig.
Yeah. Did he have much to say?
He didn't have very much to say because he again the guy in front of me was he had a picture of Walter Koenig as his character from Babylon 5, who was called Bester, who is a great character, but this guy, he wanted him to write, really specifically wanted him to write the corpse's mother, the corpse's father, which is like the slogan of the Psycorps in Babylon 5. But Walter Koenig didn't remember that slogan was from Babylon 5, or that's something that was associated with his character, and he also didn't really know how to spell the words that this guy wanted him to write, and it was just really awkward.
Oh,
and then again, by the time he got to me, I think he was already exhausted from doing autographs. So
I guess when they
really...
they give you like a little post-it note, don't they, to put on a photograph saying your name, Will or Rick. So I guess he could have done it there.
And he, to be fair, he didn't have a post-it note that said what the guy wanted written on his
another
photo. So
Top tip. Could
If
fit
you
it
want-
all on a post-it note.
If you want
No,
like a long
indeed.
statement on your autograph, put it on a post-it note, and they will better chance of getting it done. Did it get done eventually?
yes, he did it.
Cool.
He did do it, and fair play to him. He did the thing exactly as the guy wanted him to do when he
Fulfilled the
eventually...
request.
Yeah. So I tried to I wanted to get a Marina Sirtis autograph, but she was on a break every time I went up, and
Is she avoiding you, perhaps?
Well,
Just keeps seeing you coming and ducks away.
it's
Sense
suspicious.
coming
Yep.
with her empathic abilities.
Of course.
Yeah, the one time that
I
those
wouldn't worry
abilities.
about having missed her this time. I mean, this lady will turn up to the opening of an envelope. She's at every convention. She's there all the time. She'll be back.
Okay, cool. So not a missed opportunity. No. Phew. And I also wanted to get Nichelle Nichols' autograph, but she every time I went up, she was also just about to take a break as well.
Marina had a word with her about you.
Yeah, she had.
It's a conspiracy.
This guy. this guy. I met Gates McFadden.
You have, yes.
She was very nice. I didn't really know what I was going to say to her, but luckily she led the conversation by asking me about what I was doing and then what I wanted to do. So I had to kind of think fast and it was good. Like she seems like a really nice person.
Yeah.
Who engages with people, and that's always good when you meet someone. Like it was, you only have a little bit of time with people, but it's always good when they kind of engage with you. Yeah, that was it. And then I met Andy Robinson, Garrick.
Yes.
From Deep Space Nine. He was great. I talked to him a bit about. I told him that he was my favourite DS9 character, and that in the Pale Moonlight it's my favourite DS9 episode, and he said it's his second favourite DS9 episode, and The Wire is his favourite one.
He told you were wrong.
Yeah, he told me I was wrong, but in a nice way. And then I talked to him a little bit about Dirty Harry, because he's Scorpio in Dirty Harry, and he just said like Scorpio and Garrick are very different people. And that was it. Also, I just think that Andy Robinson, if they rebooted the Munsters, would make a great Grandpa Munster. That's why if he sounded like there was a talk at the end of the day where he kind of intimated that he wasn't back in acting, but that he'd been like a dean for a while, and he was back sort of. So I think Grandpa Munster would be a great role.
I did observe and find it quite amusing that you went off to get Andrew Robinson's autograph, and in that time Will chatted with us, realised William Shatner was at his desk, bought a picture, bought a queuing ticket, got an autograph with William Shatner, got back to us, and you still weren't done. Which therefore implies to me that Andrew Robinson is more popular and better than William Shatner. So I don't know, I'm putting controversial opinion out there.
I think Andrew Robinson would agree with that.
I think he would,
Yes.
I think he maybe talks to people longer, I guess.
Yeah. I think that's
Which is good.
I had a nice conversation also with Andrew Robinson. He's a nice fella. I spoke to him about his role in Child's Play 3, where he plays the barber of all these kids in the military school, and Chucky comes and slits his throat, And I said, what was it like in that? He said, it was a job. This guy's an actor, it was a job. He did it, he got paid, I don't think there's much more than that for him. So I said to him, I'm sorry, I'll ask you a better question. What was it like being the Scorpio killer? And he said he really enjoyed that a lot more, that was a proper role from So, but yeah, he liked playing Garrick as well. But Garrick's a fantastic character.
Yeah, definitely.
In fact, I gave him a big preamble because in my mind, I was recording it even though I wasn't, because he didn't let me record it because he didn't want it to be recorded. In my mind, I had a script to go to, and I gave him a big preamble about being Garrick and all the things he did. And it's like, yeah, we know all that. Have you got a question? Oh, sorry. The guy's like, well, how old is he?
He's about.
Is he in his 70s?
He's
He's 70s, but he's pretty sharp, so
Yeah.
But he was very nice to speak to.
So you've had press access today, haven't you, Kevin?
I've been fortunate enough to have press access, through a website I write for, and I was press also for the previous 2016, and it's a real privilege to have that. A bit of work does go into the press application process, but I got to speak to quite a few people and a bit of access that perhaps you wouldn't otherwise get.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's good. It's
any other highlights in the actors you've spoken to today?
I spoke to Aaron Eisenberg.
Oh, fantastic.
Aaron Eisenberg.
Yeah.
I called him Nog.
Yeah.
But he's Rom.
No, he's not.
Well, I called him Rom, but he is Nog. And then, of course, Max Grunchick sat next to him. He's like, no, that's the guy you're talking about. Yeah, of course, I'm sorry. I had a nice chat with him. He had his fiancée with him.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Yeah, that was nice. She seemed like a nice lady. I also spoke to... I can't remember.
Oh, game.
Come back to you.
There's 50 plus guests. This could take a while.
Mostly Deep Space Nine people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you speak to Nana?
No, but I did see her going into the press conference. I did say hello to her.
Okay.
I didn't know it was
Guess all the
Nana.
DS9
I thought it was Nana. Nana.
Yeah.
I believe
I
it's
think
Nana.
Americans tend to say Nana, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're long, it's Nana.
Oh, I spoke to Michael Dawn.
Yes.
I gave him the famous line, "Are you a merry man?" at the shop convention. He kind of, he didn't mind that.
Oh, that's good.
But again, I think I asked him about, I asked him what was his favourite cast members, either Next Generation or the guys over at Deep Space Nine. And I did not expect him to give me an honest answer. I thought he would just say, they're both great casts, I loved them both. But he didn't. He said that, from having worked with the guys on TNG from the very start through to the very end, he had a better relationship with those guys than he did when he came into the other one sort of midway through. Not that he didn't love them or anything else, but, had a great time with all of them, but, he did prefer the Next Generation guys. And I said, oh, wow, you've given me an honest answer. I wasn't expecting that. I was kind of only joking when I said it.
Yeah.
And I don't know, these Americans, they don't understand jokes, do they? They don't understand dry humour, that's for sure. And he just sort of went, oh, I'm not sure that was a joke. Something like that, So I irked him slightly, but I mentioned about his role in Heroes as the president.
Oh, yes.
And he seemed to quite warm to that question, and, nice fella.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. Okay. Rob, who have you been meeting up with today?
I had photos with Martha Hackett, who played Seska in Voyager. She was really nice. She took time to ask who I was, ask my name.
Did she then steal your DNA and have a baby with a baby? I just heard she does that.
So that was really cool. And then I went and got a photo with Jeffrey Combs, and he was really good as well. But his one was really, really busy, and they were getting backlogged. So there were a few annoyed people that couldn't get their photos or missed out on some of them. But yeah, they're the two that I got. I was really happy with that. But a lot of people seem to be trying to get photos and autographs on the Friday, so they could spend the rest of the con doing, chilling out, not having to worry about getting the photos and autographs.
No, there is a lot of sense I had intended to try and get my autograph with Ira Stephen Bear today, and then left the book I wanted him to sign in the boot of the car, so I failed to do that. But I will do, because that's on my priority list. I've actually not met any of the actors yet today. I haven't done a photo or anything. I've booked one with Nichelle Nichols for tomorrow, for Saturday, which I'm very excited about. So that's going ahead.
So you got a photo with Shatner, haven't you? So
I got a photo of Shatner last time, yes, and a photo of Nikki DeBoer. Because reason being, Nikki has a very special place in my heart for a tough time in my life, where her character was a big help to me, and I got to tell her that, which was really nice. So I'm sort of in the point where I'm really just trying to think who else I want to get tomorrow. I've got limited budget, so I want to use it carefully, but
yeah, that's true. For one Shatner, you could get Nana Visitor.
You get two dwarfs from Shatner.
Terry Farrell. And I have to admit, on a level, I'd rather meet Nana Visitor and Terry Farrell than William Shatner. But on another level, I just want to meet William Shatner.
It is Captain Kirk.
It is
so,
Captain Kirk.
Yeah.
But I think I'm going to do it. But I budget wise, it's easy to kind of get into that quandary of who do I see? There's so many people, and I guess we had turned up to a Star Trek event, so what was I expecting? But yeah, it's,
how do we feel about the pricing? Is this something that's an issue? Is it too expensive? Is it? Would you rather have the picture for more money or the signature for less money?
I think £3 for the picture is a bit of a jip. I'm going to say that.
Yeah,
I think
when
the
you've
amount
already
you pay for
paid
your autograph, they ought to just throw the picture in.
I would say that.
I mean, you, Will and Rick, yourselves, you really like the autographs. Personally, I prefer to get a photo with them, because that's a memento of me and them together. That's not saying either of us is wrong or right, but I am right. But it's different ways. But I do think when you go and get an autograph, you really ought to just get the picture in. It's just a bit of photo paper. I mean, it's not exactly a massive investment. £3 is a bit steep.
I just think that where I've been before, it's when I've got autographs before, it's been included. In terms of the price for the autograph, that's expected because it's relative to the person. But the photograph for £3, it's not a huge expense. But I mean, I'm only looking at maybe probably about 3, maybe 4 autographs this weekend. So that's £12. But I've seen people who are really they plan this weekend and they want to get as many as they can, and that's a lot of money, or can be. It's an additional expense. I mean, it's not a huge criticism, but it seems like an unnecessary expense on top of.
Yeah, because you've paid for your weekend ticket, or you've maybe paid for a package, which is even more expensive when you get more things added in. But and the sort of collectors fairs that we've been to before, where we've met actors, there's no entrance fee. Basically, you're just paying for the autograph itself. So yeah, it is very expensive, but then it must cost a lot to put on an event like this. I suppose that's the other side of it, isn't it?
This is the first time I've been to something like this for a while. Do it every couple of years, and it's so you can save up for it. I think. I mean, I definitely want to go again. Maybe just not next year. Maybe in 2 years' time if they do it.
Yeah.
Nick, what's your impressions of the event so far?
Well, it's my first time going to a convention of this type, and it's just great to have a look and see what's available. And today I've mostly just spent wandering around, just taking it all in, enjoying all of the costumes that people have been making, and had a little look in the 2 exhibitions, the original costumes and artifacts and things, and the Mirror Universe one. And the Mirror Universe one, they're happy to let people come in and take lots of photos.
Oh, excellent.
But the other one, they tell you as soon as you get in, no photos. That's the only rule. I guess no touching is another rule, but they didn't need to mention that one specifically.
But they said the only rule was no photos.
Yeah, so I didn't take any photos, but I had a good lick of all of the costumes.
Ooh, 1967.
Yeah.
Shatner.
Taste the Shatner sweat on that. But yeah, I would have liked to have taken some detailed photos of some of the costumes, because it's great to see the work that's gone into them, particularly because my mum makes historical costumes, and so it'd be interesting to show her the pictures of the close-ups of these outfits and how they're put together.
Actually, telling you, Nick, not to take pictures is a bit like just cutting your arm off.
It is a bit, yeah.
You've been a photographer as long as I've known you.
Yeah.
And in the original series, how did they construct the costumes for the sexy ladies in such a way that it didn't kind of ping open in a carry-on style?
William Ware Thies was a master engineer.
William Ware Thies is a genius.
I
think,
because he's constructed costumes that show off so much it somehow just stay together.
Exactly.
It's incredible. Right, so we've all had a pretty good, crazy time. What are we hoping for the next couple of days?
Some more news about the Picard series, like someone turns up out of the blue and says, "Well, we got 2 minutes of footage for you. We shouldn't tell anybody, but it's 2 minutes test footage of the new Picard series." And everyone goes, "Wow, did ya?" And we watch it.
That would be amazing. Yeah.
Or some Discovery stuff or something. I've heard rumours of, I don't know, like some people have said that maybe some like Anson Mount might turn up, Ethan Peck.
Yeah.
I mean, that's total conjecture, but it's cool. That would be so cool. And
it's been amazing because the CBS have altered their filming schedule to allow a lot of the Discovery cast to fly out to this event. They've literally stopped filming, flown them out for the weekend. They're going to go straight back Monday and start filming again. But I find it awesome that CBS have deliberately rearranged filming to allow this break so we can meet the Discovery actors at this event.
That's cool. I have to admit, the extra autograph I might get is someone from Disco.
It doesn't benefit them in their all access service because we don't get that here. So there's no massive benefit on that. This to me is a fan thing. I think it's a really nice move on
that's
CBS
good.
part.
That's how it should be, isn't
Exactly,
it? Really?
Yeah.
Well, you guys.
I thought one real highlight for me today was kind of when we all sort of took a break and hooked up with a whole bunch of other people that I've never met before, but have talked to on Twitter, and we sat in a pub in the NEC, and almost everyone there was in costume, and it felt like we were on the we were in 10 Forward. On the Enterprise. You just looked
like
around.
on another table ahead of us. And there were two guys dressed in gold uniforms and two ladies dressed in blue uniforms, and they met, and they were couples, I guess, and they kind of kissed and said hello, and it was like, this is kind of like being on a star base.
Yes, yeah, that was
I'm pretending to be. I've just come from a holiday program where I'm in the 21st century. That was so cool.
Awesome. There was a water walked in actually. Me and Rob clocked it, and she looked really, really good.
Yeah.
There's been some really awesome cosplayers. Seen a Cardassian, a Klingon, a Q.
There's Borg Andorian.
The Borg Andorian looked amazing. His antenna even moved.
I didn't see the Borg Andorian.
Did you not? Oh, yeah, he looked
really good. Like the eyepiece and moving antenna.
Oh wow.
I heard that tomorrow there's two or three guys doing some really good cosplay. One's called Armin, one's called Max, one's called...
that is true.
They're going to be doing some absolutely awesome cosplay, I reckon. They're going to be so good. They're dressing up as Ferengis, is it?
Yeah, it's a Ferengi family
got to
photo
be worth
shoots.
looking at, you know.
They're extremely expensive if you want the photo.
Is it what, 120 quid?
Something like that, yeah.
My wife offered to pay, very kind of her.
Did she? Wow.
And I just said, no, it's way too
Why?
expensive.
Why?
I don't know.
You know her, that's the thing.
That'd be a hell of a photo shoot, because I don't think it's going to happen again. I don't think Armin Shimmerman's keen to put that makeup on too many more times.
I don't think he is. Max Groenchet did last time, and he had pitched on the Enterprise bridge, the next generation Enterprise bridge, which is a bit weird because obviously he wouldn't have been on that ever. I'd imagine. Well, he wouldn't, would he? But of course, they didn't have a Deep Space Nine set, so.
No, it's a bigger event this year, isn't it?
It's larger, yeah.
2016 was great, and that was the first one I'd ever gone to, and it was immense to me. But this is a new level. We've got Next Gen Bridge, we've got TOS Bridge, we've got Klingon Bridge. We also got Quark's Bar. There's green screen ones. There's the Discovery Chair. It's huge, and it's.
Where was the Discovery Chair? Is that hidden away?
Yeah. No, the back wall where all the photo shoot bits were. It's in one of those. Yeah, I thought so.
Did you look at it? Was it good?
I didn't know. I just saw the sign up, but I might try and stick my head in and get a quick glimpse at it tomorrow. It's very expensive to get a picture there, especially if you want it with Sonequa or Jason Isaacs. But
just to go on the bridge of any of the bridges that we just mentioned is £15.
Yeah.
Just to get a picture of you on that bridge.
Yeah.
But then it's a professional photograph. They've got the flash bulbs and whatnot.
Myself, Rick, and Will are going to go tomorrow in our original series uniform, and we're going to get a picture on the original series bridge.
Snug uniforms.
Yes.
Yeah,
Will and Rick's in particular are very snug.
We opted for a small sized shirt, and it was small. Yeah. And you know that sounds logical, but
I'm gonna cross my arms because we're all allowed to be in each other's photographs, aren't we?
Yeah.
2 will be like background characters, I guess.
Yeah, so I think we'll take turns
being in the captain's chair. I'm going to cross my arms and the other one's in the middle.
That's it. I will cover your nipples.
And I look, I close my nipples and I look slightly more buff.
As a request, guys, can I go in the captain's chair first? Purely because I'm in the red shirt and I might not survive all 3 pictures.
Fair, yeah, of course you can.
Yeah, accepted.
So I've touched on. Anyone else got any big meetups they want to do with actors or anything this weekend? Still to come.
I could quite easily meet up with all of them.
Yeah.
I think my budget permitting, but probably a few more. I think Kate Mulgrew, Andy Robinson, Admiral Cornwell, Jane Brooke.
Jane Brooke, yeah.
I'd quite like to meet up with her.
She is fantastic.
Yeah.
I kind of like. I have to admit, I kind of like to just bump into one of them on like by accident. I mean, there are some people that they seem cool, and I don't really want their autograph, and I don't want a picture with them. But it'd be cool to bump into them and go, "Oh, hey, how are you? You're great." I like Mary Chaffo or someone. That'd be so cool to just go. Go to Weatherspoon. She's like, "Oh, I can't take any more of this," and like, well, just. Have a drink with us guys, and then it'll be fine. And,
I can't take any more of these nerds. I'm going to come and have a drink with some
nerds. What's going on? I'm on it, yeah. And but yeah.
So where do you see that evening ending up, Rick?
I'm a gentlemanly daydreamer. Just a drink, I think.
Okay, fair enough.
Because this house is quite a long way from the NEC, so I wouldn't say I've got a house 25 miles away. My friend's going to drive us.
There's like 5 other people there.
Yeah, that might be. Yeah. I mean, I guess that's a problem I'll deal with when it comes to me.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I mean,
if you were wooing a member of the Star Trek cast, I think they're in a hotel a lot closer by. That would probably work better for you.
Yeah.
Noted.
This is a daydream for you, but it's maybe possibly a nightmare for them.
Hey, I'm a nice guy. I feel like I'm a giving lover. So I think that's it's not nightmarish. It's like a weird dream, maybe. You know, maybe.
Rick Prime. I was standing in the bar this evening. I won't say which hotel. Let's keep our anonymity for her. Nicole de Boer walked past me.
Did she?
And I said, "Hello, Nicole," and she said, "Hello."
Oh, fantastic!
It was quite exciting.
Yes.
And then she went to a vending machine and struggled to purchase 2 bottles of water.
Well, to be fair, she's not used to our crazy British coins.
No, that's probably it. Yeah.
That would imagine.
Yeah.
and she probably assumed it was voice activated, like on DS9.
Oh,
so,
yeah,
you know,
yeah. Wondered why the stupid replicator wasn't working.
That's it.
And then she would have been calling Aaron Eisenberg over to fix it.
That's it.
Yeah. No, I am toying with the idea of going for an autograph with Nikki, just to get a chance to actually talk to her properly. Whereas last time I did talk to her briefly, but it was in a photo shoot and you kind of rushed through. So
Yeah.
that's something on my agenda. But I'm definitely going to get an autograph from Ira Stephen Bear, because I'm going to get him to sign my DS9 companion, because the interviews with him in that book are massively inspiring to me in a writing capacity. And I just kind of like, I know there's going to be someone else and I can't really pick who yet. So it might be Mary Chieffo, because she's great. I've never seen someone who can act so well in a massive layer of makeup you can literally only see their eyes get wide or not. So I think she does very well with that. But also, Gates McFadden is a very good one.
Yeah. Gates McFadden is great to meet.
Yeah.
And Mary Wiseman's there.
Yeah, Tilly is there, so that would be a fantastic one.
We were worried that because Nikki de Boer and Mary Wiseman are at the same event, that you might not be able to take it because of your adoration of both of them, like in a good way. But maybe you could test yourself.
It's a fantastic. There's some fantastic people here. There's some supreme talent in the world of Star Trek.
I agree. I think the one thing that is a bit of a shame is that there's not many Enterprise people there.
That is disappointing. They had booked Linda Park. She had to cancel. But yeah, that's literally it.
Mm-hmm.
I guess there's Jeff Coombs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
we've
Vaughan Armstrong,
Shran.
sort of, right?
Yeah.
So
Shran and Admiral Forrest, but
If you do meet Jeffrey Combs, do call him Jeffrey Combs.
okay.
He may not like you calling him Coombs. I called him Coombs last time,
Oh.
and he said, well, actually, he was very generous about it. He didn't shout at me.
Mm.
I did ask him a couple of questions, got a little bit flustered, and he gave me his patented Shran eye roll of exasperation.
right, pigskin.
Exactly, yeah. Exasperated he
you could
was.
see the way his antenna went. He was
I-
not happy.
But I quite enjoyed that,
That's cool.
I
When-
felt like Scott Bakula.
When I was trying to find, when I was trying to meet up with Rob, he said he was currently in the queue for Combs, so I just thought he wanted to do his hair. It's,
Yeah, it would be great if Scott Dracula turned up, because you could talk to him and get your photograph, and you go, oh boy, that's what I'm gonna do.
He would say, I've never heard that before.
Yes.
So
What a
just on that
unique-
subject,
He'd roll his eyes.
just on that subject, obviously Scott Bakula was in Quantum Leap for 5 seasons, 96
Five?
episodes, something like
I
that.
think.
Was it fun?
I think he was in 98 episodes of Enterprise. I remember I was thinking he never made his 100th episode of anything. It's very upsetting for him. What about what about Trek actors who've been in something else you liked? Just moving away from Trek slightly for a moment.
Okay. Good question.
Obviously,
difficult
Doug
for-
Jones is in everything.
Oh yes, Doug Jones is brilliant.
Yeah,
Doug Jones, yeah, fantastic.
yeah,
now,
like Pan's Labyrinth. And,
I kind of didn't like Pan's Labyrinth because there's a little bit of extra sort of serious violence in that where someone gets
That
smashed
was
over the back of
quite
the head.
extreme.
There's a
Yeah.
brutal.
Yeah, and it kind of irritated me and upset me a little bit when I watched that. Not that I don't mind too much violence, but you know, and seeing Doug Jones in that as the Fawn, I thought, who is this guy who's just like really expressive and like kind of like I don't know, kooky or weird or something? But seeing him in Star Trek Discovery, he's fantastic, isn't he? He's really good and
Absolutely brilliant.
very unusually. I've spoken to him a couple of times on Twitter, and more unusually, I've spoken to him on LinkedIn. It's the guy looking for a job, and why? But he is very active on social media platforms, and he seems to be quite keen to speak to people and to interact with people, and a thoroughly nice fella. So I would very much like to interview him tomorrow.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I remember an episode. I love a show called Adventure Time, and Adventure Times had a few Star Trek people in it as voices. George Takei voiced a character called Ricardio, the heart guy, who's like a sentient, megamaniacal heart.
oh yeah, yeah.
And there's also a great episode where a character builds a pillow fort and goes to live in it for a lifetime. A bit like the Inner Light, actually. So there's a character, he builds a pillow fort, and he goes into that pillow fort and enters the pillow world, and lives a life until he's an old man. And the old man version of the guy is voiced by Jonathan Frakes. So those are my two instances of something outside of Trek, but connected to Trek. They're great. I thoroughly recommend Adventure Time to everyone. I love it. It's great.
I don't massively watch things that aren't Star Trek, so this is a really difficult question for me.
I'm not sure
It's
either.
like things that aren't Star Trek. You lost me. Saying no, I've got nothing actually. No. Sorry.
But Jeffrey Combs has been in loads of stuff, hasn't he? Like he's in the
Reanimator?
Yeah. He's in the Frighteners, which I think is it's an underrated Peter
Where's
Jackson.
Michael J. Fox? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great film.
Yeah, I think so.
And that's where Peter Jackson got his start, isn't it, in horror? So-
It is, yeah.
Have you ever seen the horror House on the Haunted Hill?
I
Yes,
have,
yeah.
He plays
Yeah.
the
crazy doctor.
maniacal
Yeah.
surgeon
Yeah.
and kills everyone. He's really creepy in that.
He's had a career in horror, hasn't he? Really?
Mm.
Yeah, Mr. Combs. Yeah.
Oh, just remembered a non-Star Trek. I really like the film Cube, which has Nikki DeBoer in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic film. I did have the
Yes.
opportunity to speak to her about that,
Mm.
which I enjoyed doing because, I always think, and there's a little tip for anyone listening, I think if you go to a convention and you do get a chance to speak to someone, maybe ask them a question that's not related to Trek.
It'd be a
Because
welcome relief.
I think it is a
Yeah.
welcome relief. I think they probably quite enjoy that. And it shows that you're not just a fan of Trek,
Yeah.
you're a fan of them as an actor.
That's true.
This doesn't apply with Andrew Robinson and Chucky 3.
Apparently
Or Charles
not,
Play
no.
3, sorry.
Yeah, that's the
Good
exception.
callback to there, Rick, yeah.
Terry Farrell was in a film with Rodney Dangerfield, who is one of my favourite American comedians. So if I was going to meet her, I would ask her about that film because.
And what was the film?
I don't know.
Oh.
I can't remember.
He was
Wasn't
with
she in a
basketball.
Hellraiser?
I think maybe yeah.
I think she was in a Hellraiser. I don't know. I can't tell you which one, but I'm sure.
But not
she
with
was.
Andrew Robinson. Not the original.
No, I don't think so. It's probably like one of the lesser Hellraisers.
I checked, he's only in the first one.
Yeah,
But
I think
I'm not a fan of Clive Barker's horror.
I found out the other day that Odo, Rene
Auberjonois.
thank you,
Yeah. Oh,
played the chef, the voice of the chef in The Little Mermaid.
he did.
Oh, right, yeah.
So
That's
yeah,
amazing.
Actually, Rob, I can tie this back to a little Trek Book Club trivia. The first Deep Space Nine original novel was written by Peter David called The Siege, and in his intro, he references getting a plush, cuddly toy of the crab, Sebastian, signed by Rene Auberjonois because of his role as the chef.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, So I did know that because of the intro of that book.
I keep thinking of SpongeBob SquarePants, like Mr. Krabs or someone like. Yeah.
Renee also had a brief role in Frasier.
That's a good point.
From Cheers.
A few Star Trek actors have been in Frasier.
Yes.
Patrick Stewart, Brent Spiner,
Renee Auberjonois.
Robbie Auberjonois.
Who's that guy who played Captain Bateson in Cause and Effect of the Bozeman?
Oh, Kelsey Grammer.
Kelsey Grammer, I think he might have appeared in Frasier.
Very old.
Yeah, I read that there's a...
I think he got his big break in that episode of Star Trek, right?
I think there's a book set after Cause and Effect where Captain Bateson goes back to Seattle and moves in with his dad and reconnects with his brother with hilarious results.
Doesn't Keiko come up and talk to his brother and go, Niles?
Of course. Niles Craig. Someone remind me who played him?
Oh, David Hyde Pierce.
Yes.
David Hyde Pierce voiced over the performance of Doug Jones as the
Abe Sapien.
Abe Sapien in Hellboy. And Doug Jones said he's been voiced over in 3 films, the 2 Hellboy films, and help me out.
Well, Pan's Labyrinth.
Yes, but only because he couldn't speak Spanish.
Okay.
And I think there might have been one other one more recently.
I think.
But he wasn't happy about being overvoiced.
I thought David Hyde Pierce was only in the first.
Yeah, I think the second one.
First
David Hyde
film.
Pierce said that there was he didn't want to come back because he knew that Doug Jones was doing such a lovely job
Oh, right.
on set, because he'd heard him just doing on set. He was doing the performance, and then afterwards, David Hyde Pierce coming in and re-recording it and feeling completely unnecessary because Doug Jones is so good.
Nice guy in Frasier, nice actor, but I don't think he really added anything to that particular role. Not especially, like you say, Doug Jones probably could have just done it.
That's what I think. That's what he felt. Yeah.
Well, I thought you meant Niles from Frasier. Like,
Oh,
didn't
no.
have-
I think Doug Jones could have done that too.
Rick was about to lose it there.
No, I was just confused.
You're a big
God, I think we covered all the highlights of a big day. We have met up with a few other people. We've met Ross, who's on Twitter as @TedBorg, which is surprising to see a human face to the Borg avatar that we're normally used to. But
He had that sticker on.
he did. He actually,
Yeah.
actually wore his Twitter avatar as a sticker so we could find him. That was good. Rob, you've been out on an adventure this evening.
Yeah, so I was lucky enough to Jim Morehouse of Enterprise Extra of Czech Ranks invited me to the DS9 documentary, which was the showing for Indiegogo backers. So that was really cool. And I saw then afterwards we went out for a meal and there was Duncan Barrett and Clara from the Primitive Culture podcast on Trek FM. So that was really cool. So yeah, I met quite a few people that I know on Twitter. Yeah, so that was really good.
I hung around and managed to say hi to both Jim Morehouse and Carlos Miranda, which was a pleasure to meet them both in the flesh.
Rick, you're going to the screening tomorrow, aren't you?
I am, yes. Carlos Miranda has very graciously invited me along on his ticket, which is brilliant. So we're doing that screening tomorrow. And me and Rob will be going over to a big round table for Trek FM Primitive Culture, which will be excellent fun. So, and hopefully we're going to meet up with a few other people off Twitter. There's more people coming tomorrow.
Yep.
So it's awesome to meet all these people. There is Dr. Jen Rose, @Dr. Jen Rose on Twitter, who has always said nice things about our podcast. So hopefully we're going to bump into her at some point, because I know she's been out today in an excellent Discovery uniform. And I believe tomorrow is Sub Rosa Day. There's going to be a number of people out in pink nighties holding candle holders to summon the spirit of Ronin.
Any ghosts out there? Get down to Destination Star Trek.
Yeah, green sex ghosts. This is your time.
It's your day.
It really is.
Sexy Irish sort of Scottish. Sorry, Space Ghost.
Right. Well, okay, I think that probably brings us to the end. Does anyone has any burning things they wish to add in? All right. Excellent. Okay. Kevin, you've been doing press things. Where can people see your the fruits of your labour.
Oh, okay.
Have you got
sure.
a website link you can share?
I have tweeted a few things today from my Twitter handle, which is a slightly naff handle. It is tag. What do you call it? Handle.
Handle.
Whatever. Yeah. It's at freelance Kevin. Slightly naff, but nonetheless. And it will be on cinema.com, which is a nice, easy one to find. Should be on the main page by probably something early to mid next week. There'll be some interviews with people on there. There'll be some photographs, some information about cosplay, I would imagine. That seems to be a huge element of this sort of event. And a bit of a write-up. Yeah, I've really enjoyed doing it. It's good fun.
Rob, probably everyone's heard of your Twitter handle and book club because you're on every single Trek podcast going at the minute. But tell us all anyway.
So you can find me on Twitter at TrekkyRob, and you can also find me at my Star Trek book club, which is at Trek Book Club, where we read a different Star Trek book every month and then come together at the end of the month and discuss it on Twitter. So yeah,
Which is fantastic fun times, and I'm wearing my Trek Book Club badge right now. Nick, where can people find you on the interwebs? What other content work are you putting out there?
Yes, the most exciting things will be on my YouTube channel, which is Crow's Eye Productions. Do search for that. There's some historical costume videos and also a series called Tell Them of Us, which was written by Will and Rick from this podcast.
Yes. Yeah. Me, Rick, not the other Rick.
Yes.
You're trying to steal
Fine.
my credit, Rick. Fine. You didn't try to, but...
There's only one will, so that's clear, at least. Yeah,
Right.
cool.
Okay, I think that's it. So we are going to be going back tomorrow for Saturday, and then we might even record another podcast to update everyone on that day.
Yeah.
Who knows about Sunday? We'll see what happens. We might all be too tired.
Or out of money.
Even more likely than the tired. Yeah. So, great. Thank you for listening. See you again.
Yeah.
Bye.
See you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Do you realize how incredible this is?
It's tradition. You ever noticed her bum? What? Her bum.
Oh no!
Enough of this self-indulgence.
Thank you so much for listening to our podcast. If you want to get in touch with us, our website is www.lowerdecksradio.co.uk. You can reach us on the Twitters at 10Backward, 10 being the number and backward being the word backward. We're also on Facebook at www.facebook.com/10Backward podcast. You can also email us at crew@lowerdecksradio.co.uk. On a personal, individual level, my Twitter is at Will Turland. Rick Everston's Twitter is at TrekFanRick. And Rick Palmer's Twitter is at Mr. Imhotep.
Hi, thank you again for listening to the podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you might consider supporting us. We now have a Patreon where people can pledge small amounts to fund our ongoing projects like keeping our website up to date, new audio equipment as we're going along, and potentially opportunities to expand our content. You can go look at this at patreon.com/lowerdecksradio. If you don't feel you can donate but would still like to support us, we would love it if you could subscribe to us on however you get your podcasts, through iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, or we're on various third-party apps. And if you could leave us a review on any of those, that would be fantastic and we'd be very appreciative.
Thanks again for listening, and please tune in for more podcasts from the 10 Backward crew.
Let's make sure that history never forgets the name.
10 Backward?
Laddie, don't you think you should rephrase that?
10 Backward.
10 Backward.